I don't. Sounded disappointed.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Dorky Dev. I'm joined by Stevin Shriekuffs. Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Yay, Juneteenth. Yay?
Didn't know what it was actually until this year,
It's understandable.
which really shows how shitty our education system is.
I mean, hell, I'll be honest here. I didn't know what the Tulsa Race Massacre was until I watched the HBO Watchmen series.
I'm learning it through people who watched Watchmen.
Yeah, isn't that awful?
What the fuck? Like, seriously. This should be shit we know. Ugh.
And it's not. Welcome to This is America. Oh, you're drinking? I'll agree.
Well, it's not liquor. So.
Damn, you missed a go. Oh.
I
Might have
don't
put
know
too
if
much tequila.
Alright, so this is the one Steve. This, if we were on Friends episodes, the one Steve falls asleep on.
I'll be. That sounded too good still.
That was pretty on point. I'll be there for you. It's 3 claps.
I'm not gonna debate that at the moment. Because
Because people get pissed off at me because I used to do 4 because your brain, like,
Oh yeah.
it's a triplet, not a quad. It's a.
I don't know. I'd have to listen to it again.
Well, I can't play it because DMC.
Yeah, copyright laws and dumb stuff.
But yeah, I didn't know what Juneteenth was. Also, weirdly enough, so some cool stuff that work did. Juneteenth is now recognized at work as a holiday.
You're at Target, really?
Yeah,
That is kind of
that's fucking awesome.
yeah. Did the I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw a meme going around where the CEO of Target was like, "I don't give a damn that Targets are being looted. I'm rich."
Well, I mean, he was saying that during the first week of this, when
Yeah.
the Starks got hit in Minneapolis. He's like, product can be replaced. This is more than that. This is more important than that. And 2, we have enough. We've been making hand over fist because I've gone on national television talking about the percentages that our ship from store has been doing. We can afford to pay those employees to not work until the store's back into working condition. Is more his thought on it, that's what he publicly said. Privately, I don't know the man. All right, but that's what he publicly said. Personal opinion for me is it's the other pizza.
You had 2 pizzas?
Yeah, I'm eating 2 Tostitos, dude. Those things aren't filling on their own.
I won't dishonor you. It's fine. Hey, I didn't say anything.
Your silence is deafening.
I was about to say I'm never silent about anything.
No, you're not. All right, I'll be right back. I just need to go grab it real quick.
All right, Dev is leaving me to fill the dead air with any topic that I choose. So this will be great. Up until Dev turns around the corner, I will start. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Hi, everybody. I'm sitting here. I'm enjoying myself some tequila and some orange juice. And it is the HarHar podcast where, we talk stuff and do news and just kind of mess around. But, it's hard to talk stuff and mess around when there's no one to talk stuff and mess around with. So until Dev shows up, I will be standing here, filling in the dead air with the lovely sounds of my voice, rambling on and on until the end of time as I attempt to fill silence as Dev, grabs his second pizza so he can continue stuffing his face with the cheap deliciousness that is Tostitos. The last time I had pizza was from this restaurant nearby, which is actually really good, but I can't remember the name of it because I'm terrible with names and I didn't technically buy the pizza. However, it was delicious, and it reminded me of the last time I had Little Caesars, which I remember growing up in Kingman when one of my friends, one of our friends, one of Dev's friends, used to work at Little Caesars.
Oh, I remember when you worked there.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I used to get like crazy bread and stuff all the time, and I used to race him back to his house because he only lived like 2-3 blocks away from me. And it was really terrible to do, but it was awesome. And I remember those times, and the pizza there when he was working there was really damn good. But then I ate Little Caesars when I moved out here, and it was god awful. Like they made it fresh. I will still stand
by Little Caesars for the fact of, for the price the pizza you are paying for.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It is good pizza for, I think it's $6 now for a pizza. But at the same time, I remembered those delicious times, and I was like, friendship, sitting in a parking lot in front of the Hastings and just
fucking
shooting
Hastings.
Shit. Right?
God. I miss Hastings. I still have a ton of comics with Hastings exclusive variant covers on them.
I'm sure if I look around here somewhere, I have a unicorn mask that I bought from the Kingman Hastings while I was visiting from college. Like, it's awesome.
I think what I got there. All my Magic cards I got from Hastings.
Mm-hmm.
Either the one in Kingman or the one in Bullhead. I got the Star Wars plaques that I showed off during the Star Wars podcast. I got those from Hastings. Or technically, our buddy Joe got them. And he gave me those when he went on his mission. From Hastings.
Mm-hmm.
I got this poster, this Star Wars poster right here. With the art style and all of it, the cool one. I got that at Hastings. Which, fun fact, it actually has the wrong TIE fighter on them. It's got a TIE, or not TIE fighter, sorry, wrong X-Wing on it. It's got an X-Wing, A70 instead of an A67. I think it's A67. Because the difference is the A70s, the turbines on them split in half when the wings go into the X formation, while the 67s, there's 4 turbines on it.
Okay.
Are you looking into it right now?
No.
Oh, you look confused.
I'm trying to visualize it, and
so the normal X-Wing, the classic X-Wing, when they split their wings, there's 4 cylinders on it, one on each wing.
Yes, and then the
on
more
the
modern
70, they become half cylinders on each side. For aerodynamic purposes. Not that it's really aerodynamic, it's spatial dynamic, which doesn't really matter. But yeah, they look cool. They look like a modern take of the X-Wing, is the best way to put it. It's cool. Back to what we were saying though, our education system, back to old times. Wow, our education system sucks, dude.
It does. Like, I honestly, genuinely don't know, like, how... There are many times nowadays when I look back and hear about what's happening in modern times, and it's like, wow, I didn't know about that. Or, wow, I learned about that from a TV show. Or,
right?
Like, it's dumb. It's bad. Like,
it's mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm. And it sucks because lately, so many conversations with my racist side of the family on Facebook. It's maddening. I've been sharing a lot more posts lately because, like, my mother doesn't agree with a lot of the things that are happening right now, and I don't agree with her. But she doesn't want to talk about it. Like, she says she will not debate anything with anybody. So, I just get to silently share these posts and hope that she sees them and realizes that her opinions are a little outdated.
Yeah, they're not outdated. They're just trash. They don't. I don't think they were ever. The best way to put it is, I don't think these ideals were ever dated. I think the problem is they like. I don't know. There's a lot of problems with it. Is the best way to put it. Like, there's too many to like address at once. Like the fact that man, we've been getting way more political on this, and I'm okay with it. But John Bolton, all right, the fact, mustache dude from the White House.
Yes, the one who wrote a book recently.
Yes, is doing this shit, and he finally shares and speaks out against the president. Where were you during the impeachment trials? Where were you?
He stood on trial himself.
Where were you during all the shit that's happened in the last 3 fucking years? Like,
He didn't want to spoil his book.
I don't give a damn, dude.
And plus, it's not even like the book that's released to the public and apparently is censored by the office of the President of the United States.
Duh.
So
it's got to go pass through them.
So what we get to see is apparently not even the full story anyways. And then there's quotes of him like being like, well, this is what I would have said if I was allowed to write the truth. And it's maddening.
They're both schmucks, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Cause he's a fucking warmonger motherfucker too, but...
Mm-hmm. And like this morning, I actually saw there was a post from the Washington Post, I believe, that was... I honestly don't remember the site, but it was one of those newspaper articles that I trust, where they're talking about Trump says he wants to get new justices because the last 2 things he tried to do didn't pass. And it's like, of course they didn't pass. It's because people are people, and they deserve every right.
The other thing, too, is the reason why this is one of our many moments that we would probably say in the upcoming month. Go out and vote in November.
Yes.
You should vote every election locally.
Yes, you should.
But this is going to be our moment of saying vote. Because this election is so important because there are potentially like 2 or 3 Supreme Court judge seats that are going to open up over the next 4 years. There will be 2 to 3, more than likely, that'll open. And if Trump is elected, he will put extremely conservative judges, given that what's just happened with the Supreme Court with a 6-3 and a 5-4 vote against him.
Mm-hmm.
He will make sure it will never swing that way again, and that will impact our future for generations because it's the Supreme Court. So, vote. Like,
please.
Like, everything depends on it, because it kind of does. Or
Don't
else,
pass.
if it doesn't work, then we just restart, right? We hit the restart button. There's a restart button somewhere, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is all a game. Nothing really matters. Everyone can see that nothing really matters. To me. No. It just really sucks to me, honestly. Especially because, voting matters. What happens with everywhere matters. Life matters. But I feel like it doesn't feel that way sometimes. And the worst part of all of this is the fact that, like, some people, including, I would say, my family, I was raised, as I've told some people, in a pretty slightly racist way. And I just think that in modern times, if my mom took the time to educate herself a little bit, things would be a lot different. Like, she misunderstands how she's a racist. And
does she use the "I have friends" line?
No, but she says, I'm not a racist, but...
What?
Yeah, she does that.
I'm not a racist, but says something racist.
Exactly. So... It's hard to tell. Like, this morning, she told me that she posted on Facebook that racism in this country is due to the people tearing down the Confederate statues. And that there wouldn't be racism right now, and that this wouldn't be as nearly bad as it was if people weren't tearing down the statues. I don't get it either.
The statues that were put up during the
I said during the Jim
change.
Crow era.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she posted she took an article that was like Pelosi has stated that the Capitol building will no longer have Confederate paintings and they are going to be removed. And I was like, and she posted the thing that was like, this is the cause of racism in our country, and got really mad that they were pulling them out. And I shared the exact same article because she obviously won't interact with what I have to say. I shared the exact same article saying, I'm really glad that Pelosi has stated that this is happening because politicians changing their minds based off of what the people demand is a good thing.
It's they're for the people.
Yeah, and the fact that, and I saw a meme this morning that made me laugh so hard. It was the meme of the guy. It's just a poorly drawn man. He says something, another different person, poorly drawn, responds. Then it's the poorly drawn man who sits there for a second, and then he makes an angry face in the next frame. Like, it's that 4-frame comic. Yeah. I saw one that was a Confederate flag on the guy's forehead, and it says, "The Confederacy is part of my heritage." And then the response was a man with an American flag over his forehead that said, "Destroying the Confederacy is a part of my heritage." And then the Confederate man looked at him and then got real angry, and it made me laugh. And it made me laugh. And it made me laugh.
That's true. As an American, you have every right to destroy the Confederate statues, personally, because they fought a fucking war against America.
They're the traitors to this country, yet are idolized. Fun times. God.
The fact that I didn't know, like, they build up in our history classes the Emancipation Proclamation. That was the day the slaves were set free. But no, apparently it was like 2 fucking years later.
Yeah, it wasn't until Texas passed it.
Even then, Union states still had slaves. Just
dumb shit.
Oh, man. I just don't get it.
Isn't American history the best? Aren't we?
I bet you know what? As growing up, we talk about how like other countries spend a whole year on our have classes multiple years about our history, and we joked, "Oh, we only take 1 year about world history." That's fucks.
We need to take more. Like I remember in high school, wasn't it for us? We had to take 1 semester of civics, 1 semester of U.S. history, and then 1 semester. Of world history.
Year of U.S., 1 year of world, 1 year of civics, and 1 semester of civics. 1 semester of econ.
Okay.
And you couldn't take those classes unless you were in the advanced classes until sophomore year.
Yeah. And still, we barely learned shit. I'm not saying it's because we're bad students. I'm saying because they were bad educators.
I'm saying the system's fucking bad. I've been saying this since I was a kid, dude. The reason why I didn't have a great GPU is because they repeat the same things over and over and over that you learn as a kid. You learn the basic versions, and yeah, some of them go into a little bit more detail here and there, selectively. Like during high school, U.S. history, you're probably going to go into Watergate a little bit more, but you won't touch like you'll have a day about the civil rights activists. When that should be an entire fucking month, honestly, because there's a shit ton that goes into that. Like. They don't break it up the way that you should. There's just so many problems with it. And then world history, like, you go over Rome, Greece, Egypt, every freaking time. You touch on Japan, you touch on China, barely.
And, yeah, those ones you only touch on because of how they conflicted with the U.S.
Then you touch on, you get, like, a day, maybe 2, going over Africa. You go over when you go over South America, you don't go over even current stuff there. You go over like ancient history there. And then when you do more modern stuff, it's always World War I, World War II are the big moments. Everything else didn't really matter except that Russia was and the Iron Curtain. And that was it.
Like, I remember, this isn't as specific, but in college, I took Intro to Religions. And in that class, we learned about Buddhism, Judaism. Um, I forget the proper term for it.
Confucianism?
No. Um, Muslim religions.
Oh, which one? Because I know there's like two key ones.
I know, I can't remember the name. So, Abrahamic version. But you learn about that, and then you learn about Christianity and Mormonism and stuff like that.
Practices of Islam.
Islam. That's what it was.
Because there's two sub ones. Sunni and Shia. I think that's how you say Shia.
Yeah, we didn't get into specifics. We just covered basic Islamic religion.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we had no problems in the class up until we got to Christianity every single year. Because I took that class twice. One, I got a C in it, and that was my freshman year. And then I took it again my 5th year of college after I had switched degrees because I wanted to get a higher grade than a C. So I took it again. And both times, once we got to Christianity, it was just students always being like, that's not true. The Bible says this. And that's not true. And it's like, once again, this is just miseducation about what's going on. And that's religious miseducation. This is historical miseducation. But it's still just throughout every aspect of American life, it feels like we're misinformed everywhere.
Oh, man. Everywhere.
It sucks. Mm-hmm.
Like, I know George Orwell wrote 1984 as a parody, but there's some shit, like, especially today where it's just like, history is wrote by those who are in power.
Mm-hmm. Those who win.
And, like, the fact that we didn't know what Juneteenth was, what the Tulsa Massacre was, stuff like that, shows that. Or the fact that, like, I don't know if you saw this, but, like, what, Tesla did today?
I did not see that.
Okay. Quick breakdown of it. This morning they sent out an email being like, oh, hey, you can have today off if you want. As a holiday.
Okay.
As paid time off. But you have to use a paid time off day.
That's not a holiday.
It's a not
That
paid
sounds-
a PO T.
Yeah. Like, to me, that sounds
PTO.
like...
That is some double speak.
That sounds like senior ditch day to me, where it's like, seniors, you have to show up for class this day. However, if you don't show up, no one would take it against you. But you have to show up this day.
Yeah, they always say it, but then everyone does it.
Mm-hmm. I think I actually showed up, but that's just
I think I got sick that day, actually, like, legitimately.
That's funny.
Like, we'll go into that one later, but maybe not even tonight. This may be a seed that I plant now that I do 5 podcasts from now. When me and Stephen inevitably get back to just being us for a night and go over high school stuff, because that's where we always end up.
Yeah, we're nostalgic bitches.
Yeah, we are. Like, yeah, no, like, I saw that, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that is some straight doublespeak right there. Like, and the fact that it's not, like, well, that's something, like, I really appreciate, like, I know it sounds dumb, because Target is a fucking brick-and-mortar super conglomerate. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they recognize June 19th, Juneteenth, as a holiday now, and they said it, they're like, this isn't going to be a one-time thing. We're just going to do this from now on, because it's the right thing to do. And the fact that, like, as the news reported, like, they're going to bump salary to 15 early.
That's good.
Earlier than, like, most states. I live in a fairly progressive state of Washington. Minimum wage here hasn't even hit 15 yet. The company I work for is going to be at minimum 15.
Nice.
Like, shit like that, like, I kind of, like, I know they're a capitalist monster in some ways, But at the same time, I'm like, out of all the capitalist monsters out there, you're not that bad. I know you're not great, but
you always have to choose which human rights you're okay with being stepped on. Because ultimately, these huge conglomerates always treat you as a number, no matter what. So even if you are a person, like, they'll be like, yeah, you could do this, but overall, eventually, over time, they'll be like, hey, you're not making us money anymore. You got to leave.
Oh, yeah. And I get it. Capitalism.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it's there. I was like, man, could you imagine if we weren't? I was talking to someone, I'm like, hey, because they were talking about, like, man, I really hate medical debts. Like, I can't get insulin because it's so expensive and I need it. I'm like, yeah, like, I haven't, like, or like she talked about that she went to a dentist and she went to a college dentistry school, which you would think they would have to be good, right, to teach it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, they didn't give her enough anesthetic.
I mean, I understand that. I've heard the occasional horror story because my college did the same thing where they'd have college students who are in school for dentistry. They'd take up dentist appointments from students who don't have, like, medical information to get dental appointments. And
Yep.
I've heard horror stories of the student occasionally messing something up. And it's like, well, sorry.
Yeah. And then, like I talked about, like, I haven't even had my wisdom teeth pulled because, like, for a while there, I didn't have dental insurance. I do now. I just haven't gone. Because it's been a little tough to go during all of this because this was the year that I'm like, I'm going to go in. This was the year that I was going to move, take care of a lot of medical stuff that I have not had the chance to do for a few years. Honestly, I haven't been to the dentist in a little while, which is bad. I haven't set up a primary care physician. I haven't done a physical in like 2 years. I haven't done a lot of stuff that I need to do. So I was gonna do that, and then all that happened. I'm like, but also at the same time, like, man, the fact that I didn't have my wisdom teeth pulled my sophomore year.
Like, does your mouth hurt?
Not anymore.
Teeth?
But
then it doesn't matter.
I wouldn't mind my jaw being back to being an overbite instead of an underbite.
That's gonna take more than just removing the wisdom.
I know, but I wouldn't mind getting back to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone looks more handsome with an overbite. Yeah, everyone wants big old buck teeth.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, that's why I never, like, I don't smile closed mouth like this. Because I can't, because I do this. And it's not naturally doing that. It was forced to do that. So, like, I need to go do that. I need to get a physical done. And just some other stuff. And I was going to go do that this year. I just haven't because, COVID. And I don't think it's a good time to go strain medical professionals with something that minor right now, especially with the fact that some places are on a huge uptick. So, to go away from some downer news there, you want to talk about some other downer news?
Sure, I love talking about downer news. That's all that the news is lately for us.
TwitchCon is canceled.
Yeah, that one I'm bummed about. I'm like, well, let me rephrase that. I'm bummed and not bummed at the same time.
Right, that's where I am.
Like, it would be great to see each other again. I miss seeing people, but at the same time, I don't miss seeing people enough to stand around a crowd of 5,000 other people.
Yeah, no, like exactly how I was thinking. If it was done, it would have to be they would have to have, in my opinion, more outside stuff. Like an outside setup around the San Diego Convention Center, right?
Mm-hmm.
B, no meetups. C, everyone's mandatory to wear a mask. that's at the event.
That could work.
But then you still have to figure out how many people you're going to allow. You've got to figure out how many people are going to buy tickets, how many people are going to go. And B, what are all those people going to do in the nightlife? Because the thing about TwitchCon is you go and get drunk afterwards. Or at least go out with friends and go do stuff.
My TwitchCon was I went out for about 4 or 5 hours and sat home and then scooted home and watched horror films. So
we showed up drunk off our asses.
It was great. I remember there were times when there was literally a time when I was passed out on the couch watching a zombie movie, and 3 of our friends who were just friends walked in the front door like, "Hey, what's up? We were told to come over." And I was like, "Oh, I was asleep. But let's hang out. What's up? How's it going?"
No, I miss that. Like, that's the thing I'm gonna miss the most. It's just hanging out with everyone, because it's the best time to hang out with everyone. It's kind of like it feels so weird because you're like, I respect it. It's the right decision, but damn it, not another one. Because it's just like,
I'd rather it be shut down, honestly.
Oh, I know, same. Because then it takes away all temptation to go. Mm-hmm. That's my problem. Knowing me, I'd be like,
See, like right now for myself, I'm still trying to figure out logistically how I can help my friend move in Arizona, which Arizona is the local hotspot of coronavirus infection. So I'm trying to figure out all the last minute logistics, and all the while in the background, it's like, okay, so what are we gonna do while I'm visiting him? I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna sit on the opposite side of the house as him, and then we're just gonna sit there staring at each other for about 4 days after moving. Because we can't go out, or at least if he wants to, I'm gonna say fuck no.
Not in Arizona, no.
No, yeah. So then it's just sitting there, staring at each other, maybe playing games, maybe watching TV shows, but ultimately doing nothing. And I'm willing to do that, but at the same time, it's like,
for how long?
Yeah. And continue off of that topic too, like every single week that I've been off of work from my job because of the layoffs and stuff, I keep getting emails. Every Friday I get an email telling me, hey, this is what's going on within the company. And it's so ridiculous because nothing's changing. If anything, things are getting worse. But everything is always like, we're still going on according to plan. Hi, Scar.
Oh, Scar! Holy shit, dude! That's a name I haven't seen. Oh, I don't have 84 years on this one. 84 years!
It's been 84 years. How's our police chief doing?
He's alive.
So we need to talk to you about child support. You've missed out on a couple payments for Frankie.
Yeah, you left him with me.
Yeah. Wait.
I could use some help with it.
Your child.
Yeah, no, he's still alive. I've been keeping him alive.
Yeah, it's all Deb's fault. I mean, thanks to Deb, which is saying something. Lots of it wrong. You're right. Frankie's still alive. We have been doing it wrong.
Oh, Mike. All right, we're good. I'm so lucky I have the dial here because I would not have been able to stop that noise.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you yelling Mike is better than the noise, absolutely. But my ears are bleeding.
What else do you want me to say during that time?
I don't know. Subtlety, I don't know.
There's no subtlety when it's screaming in our ears. When it's going.
That is pretty cool, Scar. There's some good news.
That's
One
right,
of
dude.
our friends officially has a company now. Are you still looking for people to fill in radio slots? Is that a thing you're looking for? Yeah, golf claps, yeah.
Now you joined us during our conversation about the fact. That's fair. We've been talking about the fact that topics we've hit. The fact that
We are uneducated
yeah.
and everyone's ignorant.
Yes. Because okay, Scar. Okay, actually, this is a test.
I was about to say, Scar, being the Australian in the room, we have some questions.
Right. This would be a good time. Oh, God, if late entry to the podcast.
All right, Scar's in. Ask away.
All right. All right. I'm gonna tap him in. Fuck it. Here we go. This is gonna be the easier way to do it. Are you at? You got to set up. I'm gonna create a call real quick. This is just gonna be the easier way to do this.
Okay.
On.
Okay.
Hold on.
Discord. Something's
Hold on. Sorry, people.
happened.
Hello. Hey.
Welcome to me.
Hi, Scar.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice visit from ScarAus.
Alright, hold on. I gotta find the right Discord thing. There we go.
Why
You
is my
know.
camera not turned on?
I don't know why your camera's not on.
There we go.
Go to 3. Oh, that's not the right media.
It's okay. It happens all the time.
Yep.
Shut up. It doesn't all the time.
You boob.
Why do so many people in your fucking Discord have like rainbow epilepsy effects on their logos and shit now? Is that a thing? Am I old? Do I not know about this? What's happening?
Well,
Is it probably for Pride?
No, it doesn't. That's not pride rainbows. It's just epilepsy rainbows.
Oh, then I have no
talking
idea.
about
On the
me
screen.
background?
Oh, that.
Yeah.
That's just because Steven's background is normally that.
Yeah, see,
Oh.
normally things are chroma keyed out, and
I just don't feel like doing
it's
all of
green. Right.
yeah, my lighting and camera is terrible.
No,
I
it's
just
fine. I
don't-
didn't realize that was a chromid area. That makes a lot more sense now. I was like, why do all these motherfuckers have the same thing? How did he make that do that on his fucking Discord thing? What? I knew that. Oh god, I'm
Look
old.
at all of the me's.
Shut up.
Oh,
I'm fixing
hi,
it.
me.
I'm fixing it.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Lohan.
I
Pay
hate
attention to
everything.
me. Hello,
There's too many of him.
look at me.
He's like, all right,
Hello.
ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna bring Scar on, but before that, all of Screef.
Yes. Look, it's my chest. Isn't it amazing? Mm.
This was not my intention,
My
but
chest is amazing. Give it a lick. It tastes like hair.
What?
That's dirty.
Do you think so? Copyright.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more than likely.
I don't think Sony owns that song, so I think we're okay.
All right, well that's good. All right, all right. So
We got one.
yeah, hold on. I'm getting me real
Excellent.
quick.
Whoa. Can you?
I like the professional streamer of this, where he doesn't do it on the studio mode, where everyone can't see it on stream. He does it live. It's really good. This is a behind-the-scenes look into what the
fuck
doing.
off.
we do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
It's the angry American way.
Don't talk about my heritage that way.
Oh lordy.
That's a joke that we kind of make in the most recent highlight video of yours, Dev. Where you're like, I'm always calm. I'm not angry.
I know. I'm never angry, dude.
Never angry.
I'm one of the calmest people you will ever meet.
Incorrect. I mean, yeah.
That's more like it. All right. So
me if I don't say yes.
Don't need to tell him that, Scar.
Oh shit, it's in the contract. I'm sorry.
There's a contract?
Yeah. I'm actually so I shouldn't go too far into it, but as I said in the chat earlier, officially a company now, so that's cool. Thank you for the golf claps. I appreciated that.
Oh yeah, no problem, dude. There's golf claps at the minimum.
Yes. But as part of that, I'm now having to actually do contracts up and stuff like that. So I'll have people who are contracted to my company and they get paid and stuff, which is really cool. It's good. I, wanted to set it up in a more legitimate way up rather than me just being like, "Hey kid, you want some money?" So it's nice to nice to mix it up. But I was talking to somebody, and one of the females that I know, and as a bit of a joke, I was like, "Oh yeah, we're doing these contracts up," and I was like, "Oh, there will be mandated titty pics as part of the contract," and she's like, "Oh, okay."
That reminds me of the Futurama episode. Sorry. In episode of Futurama, it says in the contracts for the employees, all female employees might be asked to pose naked for a calendar. And the female employees are like, "Isn't that racist or sexist?" And they're like, "No," because they pull up all the men's contracts and it's like, all female, it's in our contract too. All female employees.
That's right. Hey, you signed the contract, all right? That's how the fucking law works. If you don't like it, don't sign the contract.
So I had a question. We were talking about American education system and how they make us do essentially the same history lessons over and over and over.
How America is great and there was no negativity in American history.
Much.
The white people definitely didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, got it.
And we talked about the fact that we didn't know what Juneteenth was until this year.
I also don't know what that
I was about to say, that's an American thing?
Yeah, it is. Juneteenth is
the other day and I didn't know what it was.
It's the June 19th is the day that the slaves in Texas were set free, which was the last holdout from the Confederacy.
Cool, nice. That's good.
2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed.
Look, they're a bit slow, but yeah.
Which, funny enough, there were still slaves after Juneteenth, because the Union still had slaves. But and then the fact that
Juneteenth's supposed to be a celebration, or is it?
It's the celebration of Black freedom.
Okay, cool, good.
It's a good thing. And we talk about that. My work now recognizes that as a holiday before even the federal government does.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right. That's
so
nuts.
I'm honestly okay. So we don't have any holidays like that. We have Sorry Day, which everyone's really kind of not a bit confused about.
I was about to say, that sounds like a Canadian holiday.
Yeah,
sorry, mate.
No, so that one's about saying sorry. The day that we essentially, as a nation, apologized to all of the Indigenous people of Australia regarding all of their history. Obviously, one day of being like, "Oh, sorry about all that shit that we did," isn't enough. But it was like, it was a big moment where it's just like, "Hey, look, this is we're gonna."
It's an official recognition of it, though.
Yes. However, that's not a public holiday still. So it's interesting that you're saying what you have is.
Well, no, it's not a federal holiday yet either. My work is making it a holiday for work going forward. They're like, "Hey, this isn't a one-time thing we're doing. We're gonna do this from now on. Even if the federal government doesn't recognize it, we will recognize it." Fucking Target!
You're excellent. Yeah, nice.
What the fuck?
And sadly, the closest thing we have to that here, I think, would be Black History Month, where it's supposed to be an entire month dedicated to the history of African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
But that in itself isn't really a holiday. It's more like a...
We have Martin Luther King Day, but that's for... I mean, yeah, that makes sense, but that's it?
Still shot him.
Yeah, no, they shot him!
Yeah.
So, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Because growing up, we used to hear things that people, over in Europe or anywhere else, would learn a lot about American history. Is that true at all?
At least in Australia.
Because, for us, we only get world history, class for 1 year.
Yeah, my understanding, thanks to movies of the American education system is like freedom, and this is what we did in the day. It's good. We in Australia we didn't really do too much. Like there was general war stuff, so it's like what happened to the First, Second World War, that type of jazz. But when it comes to Australian history, we didn't. I feel like we didn't even really learn a lot about ourselves. Because like it was a long time ago. I'm old as fuck, so I don't entirely remember all of that. But yeah,
I guess the question is, like here in the U.S., they don't teach us about things like the Tulsa Race Massacre, which was a literal U.S. bombing on American soil to kill off an African American community, essentially. And they don't teach us about that in school.
No,
So,
of course not.
is there anything like that equivalent in Australian history? Like, is it
I
like,
suppose, yeah.
yeah, we're not all criminals here, exiled
Yeah.
from a former
Well,
country?
yeah,
Not
so
at
that-
all.
I as I said, it's been a long time, but now that you mention it, yeah, there was a lot of discussion about Captain Cook and coming to Australia, and I suppose looking back on it, it was a lot to do with this is how he got here, and this is who he was, and this is what he did, rather than like, and this is all the people that they killed because they were here and they were classed as fauna, not actual humans. Which
Yeah.
I believe for a long time, Indigenous Australians were classed as fauna, not as people, which was pretty fucked up.
That is pretty messed up.
Yeah, pretty bad.
As three white men,
Yeah.
wow, we fucking fucked up. When people say
Yeah.
colonizers, I'm like, yeah, no, that's 100% like, yeah, like
You should get listened to. There's Rhett and Link. They had
The lads.
yes, their second series of their TV show Buddy System that they did on YouTube. They have a song called "Down with America," which is freaking hilarious because it's all about these two American entrepreneurs who are deciding that they've discovered everything they can in the US. So the only decision they can do is to dig underneath the Earth's crust to find every ounce of wealth that they can, to find people and teach them how to dress proper and show them how to work. And like, it feels really appropriate, even though it's a satirical song.
Yeah, it's I think it's pretty interesting. Like, history in general is essentially just a long line of people making the wrong decision, but then just having to run with it and go, well, I guess we fucking do this now. And I think obviously now we live in a very good time, as much as there's a lot of bad shit going on. If you compare it to the rest of history, we're doing pretty good. Like, we're recognizing the rights of people who never in all of history had those type of rights recognized and would previously be killed just for having that type of opinion or having that skin color or whatever. So, as much as, there's a lot of people out there being like, this is the worst, and this is the worst time to be alive. Fucking no, it's not. It's the best time to be alive. Maybe 1 or 2 years ago when there was a lot less pandemic, but other than that, pretty good at that.
that's how I'm thinking about it. I'm like, could we have actually broken through because I want to say how awesome it is that the protests hit worldwide was awesome.
Australia did really good at that.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like, you guys.
Yeah. I work in the city in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And my place of work is on the street that they did the protests on. So I had basically no customers for about 3 hours, but that was fine. Because I was just looking out, seeing all the people and everyone very, very peacefully doing what they needed to do. A couple of people got riled up, and the people leading the march, basically called them out straight away and said, "Cut that shit out." and everybody around them, kind of stared at them and was like, "Cut that shit out," and they stopped instantly. So it was a very positive mob mentality, which is good. It's
Powerful.
quite rare to see that, and yeah, like exactly powerful. Like it was, that absolute power of positivity quelled any negativity that was coming up. So that was really good. I did, however, have one. How do I put this? Peruser of crack come into my store, and he had a big fuck off stick, and he had a big long grey coat on, and he walked up to me, and I work in a game / pop culture store.
GameStop.
That kind of that plus another. There's a thing called Zing, which I think you guys have. Something else is basically the same thing. Anyway, this guy walked up to me, big fucking stick in hand, and goes, "I am Gandalf the Angry, and I hate all police." And I was like, "Okay, that's not quite what we're here for today, but I think you're on our side, so I'm just gonna let it slate. You're close enough. That's sure. All right, fuck it. As long as you're not like everyone out there's the worst." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But I was just so, like, internally, I was laughing my ass off because this guy, clearly somebody kind of gave him the idea of why everyone was there that day, but because his crack-ass brain didn't quite capture onto it, he became Gandalf the Angry and was just generally hating police. And I was like, "Oh, fuck it. I'm not going to correct you because it's so close that if I try and correct you, you're going to go the other way. Fuck it. Sure, yeah, I'm angry too, champ. Get out of here."
Go tell them how angry you are.
Yeah, wave your stick, but don't hit anyone with it.
Oh man, well that's like I know locally there was a march here in this little podunk middle of nowhere Washington town. It's not really middle of nowhere. It's actually a growing, thriving little city. But there was a march and there was one protest and one march. One standing protest by one of the courthouses, and then like a march through the town. Like the next week, like over in Seattle though, like they have an entire section cut off for people there, and like it's just scary seeing how many of the law enforcement people are very much like, "I still have the power," and are just trying to use it to kind of like save what power they have, I guess. Because man,
sorry, I'm thinking of a story directly. I think it was in New York City here, where 2 cops were put on suspension for pushing over an old man.
Buffalo. That was Buffalo.
Yeah, and then all 57 officers of the Buffalo police resigned because they're like, "You know what? We're not gonna condone that you suspended our officer friends." And it's like they pushed and made an old man bleed out of his ears.
He's still in the hospital.
Yeah.
He's got a fractured skull. And his condition is still critical, or something like that. Last I checked, he's still not in great shape.
But they stand with their officer friends. What a lovely time.
But like I wish this would have happened 2 years ago, during the last time, because like the fact that I have to say the last time we got close to this kind of movement really sucks, because there shouldn't be a last time. It should have been the last time. You know what I mean? It should have definitively ended years ago, but it still goes on, and that's what this fight is for. But I wish it would have happened, because now the problem is you got people being like, "Oh, but the protests, they're raising COVID." But the problem is, like, at least in America, I don't know about other places right now 100%, because no offense, I've been more concerned about trying to figure out what's going on here with that, because we can't get our shit together on it.
We're the single most important country in the world, right, Scar?
Yeah. You guys are really killing it over there, and by killing it, I mean
literally. But like, the fact, like, people are like, "Oh, but aren't the protests gonna bring more COVID cases?" I'm like, well, yeah, duh. But like, the fact that African Americans are dying more to this at a higher
Jesus.
percentage than
Hmm.
white people are dying to it. That's part of what this march is about too. Like on a level as well. There's systemic stuff like that is ingrained into it. Like it's not just, oh, well, you guys, what about this and this and this? Meh. No, there's a lot of keys to this that just.
Am I reading this right, Scar?
Yeah, so let me put that into perspective. So I just found some information regarding the COVID stuff, and I want to clarify it based on population. So I'm just going to check that first. Population versus America.
Wait, that's real? That's your guys' current?
I was about to say, you're
Yeah.
getting under 30 cases a day in the entire country.
Yeah.
That's
Where are
pretty
we?
good.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so
Could you imagine that?
I'm imagining the 4,400 in Arizona just last weekend.
Okay, so to be fair, America has 326 million people, and we've only got 20 million. So obviously, when you look at those numbers, you have to think percentage-wise. But even
capita.
percentage-wise, we're still doing really good. And no offense, you guys doing really bad.
You're
Oh, you're
wrong.
not. There's no offense
Yeah.
taken because me and Steven have been very vocal about this. It's one. It's
Yeah.
one. It's been a topic of conversation the last month for the show.
But
Because
yeah, we've
it's
only
just
had
not been-
102 deaths in our entire country of 20,000 people.
Wow,
So, yeah.
that's
pretty bonkers.
still less than my state, which has done all right. Quote,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
I think
somewhat
New
all right for
Zealand-
Washington.
I think New Zealand's probably one of the best places to look at.
The fact that they
fucking
hit
nailed
0.
it. Yeah, let's have a look. New Zealand's had 22 deaths. That's it. And one of the reasons why is because they went to level 4 lockdown, which was get in your home and we're not coming out for a month. That's it. Stay home. And that was it. They did it. And COVID's gone. Bye. Like, it was so easy. And yeah, I know, like, obviously there was a lot of issues and, you know, some businesses had to close down for a month or whatever it might have been. But, you know, money-wise, I think it would actually be better to just do that than, you know, try and prolong it, or have a bunch of the people in your country die. You know, there's like,
Oh no,
it's really weird.
It's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
Where we're at right now with, at least in America, because it's just like this is catastrophic. Like, 'cause, businesses are gonna open and people aren't gonna go, and the people that do go, a good handful of them are gonna get sick, which means they're not gonna be able to go again because they're sick. So that loses business for another 2 weeks. It's like theaters being like, oh, we're thinking about opening, but we may not do masks because, you know, we don't want to send a political message. That's what the guy for the owner of AMC said, which is ludicrous to me. That the
Yeah.
fact a mask is a fucking political statement pisses me the fuck off.
Dude, there's a thing going on Facebook. There's an event called National No Mask Day, scheduled for tomorrow. And it's supposed to be people are not going, as a protest, they're going to go around with no mask on. Because wearing a mask is, you know, harassment. I don't know. Pushing down the people. And I don't know.
So I'm, you know, I don't want to rag on you guys too much because I feel like we do that a lot as a bit of a joke, and obviously this conversation is getting a bit more serious.
Rag
But-
away because your Australian humor does help.
But
It
it's like-
shows a light.
Yeah, but it's interesting because obviously I look at the things that I know about America, which is probably limited compared to a lot of the truths, so I won't pretend to know everything. But, you know, when you have a country where a lot of the things that we hear about it is we have the right to bear arms, we don't want background checks because that's an invasion of privacy, all this type of stuff. It does not surprise me in the least when there's an entire group of fuckwits who are like, we're not going to wear masks because it's degrading or whatever. And it's like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's so just fucking dumb. And we've got people here doing the same thing, but I think, you know, percentage-wise, it is lower. And one of the big things I found about Australians through this, and obviously earlier on in the year where we had our bushfires as well. Let's just fucking 2020.
Yeah, dude, that was what a fucking year. That was January, right?
Yeah, it's January. It's like happy birthday to me, fucking.
What a start to the year. That should have been a fucking sign that everything was gonna go.
Yeah.
Back then we made jokes about COVID.
Yeah, it's the fucking end times. Yes, it is.
Oh, better not get a corona.
But yeah, so I don't know where that point was going. But that's right. As a country, we are very good at coming together and going, okay, what are we going to do? What do we need to work on for a bit? And then a lot of us give up. Like, it'll just be like, oh yeah, we all need to raise money and we all need to do this. That'll last like 2 weeks, and then everyone forgets about it and goes back to what they were doing. But it's nice for that first bit, and it's never destructive afterwards. It's just we're a bit lazy, I guess.
It's better
than interesting to see how we handle stuff and looking around the world at the news that comes to us, which obviously is not all of the information. We get drip fed specific things, but the information that we are given, it's just interesting to see how everybody around the world handles things in comparison to us.
Well, I don't know. I'm beyond like intrigued by how other countries have handled this kind of stuff, because like America and South Korea got their first case the same day, and it's drastically different how the two countries have handled it. If you look at statistics, and it's just like, how couldn't we have mimicked them? Why did we do it this way?
Well, I think how long ago was it? About 4 years ago now. There was something that happened in your country where a bunch of people were supposed to go somewhere and give their opinion on something, and too many dumb people gave their opinion, and now you have an
no,
president.
Not too many dumb people. You wanna know what happened? It's an old, outdated system where it values the votes of rural areas more than the votes in urban areas.
Oh, gross. Yeah. That's dumb.
Because by technicality, he did not win the popular vote, and I know it irks him.
Yeah. He lost the popular vote, but still won presidency.
The Electoral College.
I wonder if that does. I don't think we have that here. We might do. I don't really look too much about politics, but that sounds fucked. That sounds like a racist law as well.
Dude, like it's getting to the point where even voting is becoming a topic of politics. Like in Iowa, a state here, they recently had an election where they offered mail-in voting, where every single person who was registered to vote in the state got an application to vote by mail. It was the easiest time the state has ever had while voting, and the state decided that they're never going to do that again, because it's too easy for everybody to vote, and it would ruin the gerrymandered system that they're trying to make.
Yeah. Well, Washington's been doing it. Like, Washington's been doing mail-in voting for like several years since I've lived here. Every year that there's anything to vote, we vote by mail. That's how we've always voted here, like since I've lived here. And I'm like, this is fucking fantastic, being able to fill out my ballot, put it in the mail, or drive up to a fucking drop box over at the courthouse and drop it into that.
So I don't know with you guys, but we have a lot of voting places just at like local schools, where they set up booths and you go in and you just drop off your vote and see you later. But it's also a legal requirement to vote.
Oh, it's not legal
here.
here.
You get a massive ass fine. I know it's not legal there, but it's like that's how our whole system is. A lot of people, go, I wish I didn't have to vote. It's like, well, it's kind of nice that at least everybody's opinion is taken on board to some degree.
Yeah, I would much rather us be like, there have been talks of laws being passed here. Like, if you're 18, you automatically are signed up to vote and registered to vote. And if you you are legally required to vote in every state, and yada yada yada. Like, that's been talks. But the more that people talk about it, the more the heavy right-wing Republicans are like, no, we can't do this, because our system is built on in-person voting, and then they make it so certain polling areas can't be reached very easily.
Oh yeah, like over what was it, Georgia vote recently that they closed down a ton of polling stations around Atlanta.
They closed like 140 out of the 150 polling stations they have.
Wow.
Most of those in black
Voting
communities.
Mm.
So it's like it's outlandish that we can't fucking just vote by mail, or like it's
Sometimes
simpler.
It's interesting, like, you know, a lot of the powers around the world, you know, clearly get there by money and stuff like that. And you know, we've got this whole idea of there's a global government that is supposed to make sure that everybody's doing the right thing, but it doesn't seem like that is the case necessarily, when there's so much clear evidence that that's not the right thing to do, but nobody's going, hey America, don't do that thing, because I guess everybody's kind of too fucking scared to stand on anyone else's toes and shit. Like, nobody in the, you know,
Can we just get to the
not the
Trade
coalition
Federation
level.
era?
I don't know, it's just weird.
Like it's even ridiculous that the U.S. is pulled out of the
Oh,
World Health Organization.
God.
Like
Jesus Christ, yeah.
that. These are literally entire organizations built on keeping the entire humanity alive, and our president was like, I don't care.
They were the reason COVID is bad here.
Mm-hmm.
I asked for extra small gloves and they wouldn't give them to me.
For my tiny hands.
My tiny hands.
What about my tiny hands, people? Don't you
God,
care?
I hate. Speaking of gloves, I fucking hate gloves that are all one size fits all.
Those are
because
not.
They don't fit
Incorrect.
my fucking hands at all.
Yeah.
I'll put them on and it'll rip halfway down the middle. And all right, time for
Well,
the
because
next
the
pair of
problem is
gloves.
no one's hand is the fucking same. Like I'm a person who has a big palm but smaller fingers, compared to the palm.
You'd be terrible at piano.
Yeah, no.
That's not
Well,
where I
that's
was
again
going with
what
that,
like
but
playing
yeah,
Rock
piano.
Band. One of my problems is that like my fingers aren't super long, so like the webbing, I have like higher, like webbed.
You got
hands.
webbed fingers.
Yeah, because like the
You're
webbing goes up
amphibian?
from the knuckle up like that, compared to like normal people who like you can like some people their freaking like skin just like barely goes over the knuckle and wraps back down to the palm. So like gloves don't work like that for someone like me. It's like when people order gloves at work for like because I work in a cooler sometimes. We have gloves for that, but like if I wear a medium, it fits my my fingers great, but I can't get it down my palm. But if I wear a large, it fits my palm great, but then there's just dangly bits on my finger, and I'm like, well, fuck.
Have you guys already spoken about Skate, by the way? I saw it in the title.
Not yet. No.
No,
Okay.
Dude.
When are we changing subjects? Because I'm
Do
ready.
you want to talk about it now? I'm down to talk about it now, dude.
Which
Yes!
is not a good thing.
Holy shit, Skate!
Okay, so there's a couple of things. There are 3 fucking Skate games that have been announced. There was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2,
Yep.
Skater XL, and Skate 4.
That's
What
actually,
the fuck?
that was one thing I wanted to ask because I grew up with my childhood actually playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
I played
And then I
Underground.
never played a skateboarding game after those.
No, God,
So-
because they're all terrible, yeah.
Yeah. So like I
Except
am
for the
totally
Skate series.
I
Yeah.
haven't even played Skate. So like
Skate
I'm
is
more excited about
arguably
1 and 2.
Skate is one of the best, in my opinion, skating games.
This is one of the jankiest because it's fucking ridiculous. Number
But-
3 is bonkers.
Oh, I love it though.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's more. I'd say if you want to say it's a little more crazy,
Mhm.
I'd go Tony Hawk. Like they do sillier things
Tony
in
Hawk
it.
Pro Skater.
Because like
Well,
the
no,
amount
it's,
of well, I'm
fucking Skate 3 has got that whole game mode where you
yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet. So let me get to it.
Alright.
Skate 3, if you're just doing it for the skateboarding stuff, it's very intricate and it challenges you to do better, and stuff like that. Like it really, there's a lot of intricacy to how you skateboard in that game. While Tony Hawk is you button mash and do some sick ass fucking combos and like Ben Franklin freaking kite grind or rail and stuff like that, which is ridiculous and fucking awesome, and I love it. Skate's only like competition to the ridiculousness is the Hall of Meat, which is a game mode solely created because they had really good ragdoll physics in the first game. And they're like, okay, from now on, what we're gonna do is there's a game mode where your sole objective is to throw your body off of things and break as much of you as you can.
They have to have Hall of Meat.
Hall of Meat has to come back.
Yeah, if they don't, that's it. Sorry, guys, you're getting no sales.
No, seriously, the Hall of Meat needs to be because Hall of Meat is fantastic. The challenge would be because you could learn how to do stuff like you could do cool tricks in the air and bounce off and stuff. But the goal was the moment you hit the ground was to keep jumping. So you have to there's this thing that you could do where you curled up into a ball and then kicked your legs out and jumped into the air. And so you had to keep doing that to keep getting points. Because the moment you stop moving, your body just goes limp. And that ends your point total. So if you're playing with a bunch of friends, you're like, all right, guys, who's going to be the Hall of Meat champion? And on top of that, the skate physics are just really cool in general. Like the fact that you can lay down on the board while going down a really crazy turning road with cars and stuff like that.
And shit,
oh, dude, it's so fucking awesome.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, in Australia at least, has a collector's edition that sold out in one day. And I did manage to pre-order it, so I was very happy with myself. And it comes with a skateboard.
It comes with a skateboard?
Just the deck, but still, yeah, a skateboard deck.
That's still fucking cool.
That's very cool.
I would. I mean, I'm not a skateboarder, but I would get that.
Yeah.
I would hang it up on my wall and be like, I'm a poser.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I would do the same.
Since I was a fucking child, and I was garbage at it then, so definitely posing for it. But still, yeah, I'm super keen. What else came out? So,
they showed more about Squadron.
Awesome. Oh, the Star Wars.
Yeah, and Syndulla is in it. Hera's in it, and I'm so happy about that. That Hera Syndulla is in the game because she's fucking awesome, and so is Wedge.
I missed this. What are you talking about?
Star Wars Squadron, the fighter pilot game that's coming out. It's gonna be first person. You can do squads of 5. And
it's space combat, and it's fucking dope.
It's so cool, and you can customize your ship to change how your combat is around the 4 ships that you can use. So if you want to be able to let's say your style is speed and brake. So one of you've mastered the maneuver of speeding through a tunnel or something like that, braking so the person comes around you, and flipping and just shooting at them and stuff like that. You can customize your ship to be the perfect to your play style. Stuff like that.
It's also not even a full price game. In Australia, most of our games are $100. This one's only 60. So for you guys, 60 down to 40 or something.
40,
probably about 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 5-player squads, but you do have to play the campaign first to learn how to play the game. Smart on their part.
Totally fine with that.
Exactly. And it's also completely. You could play the complete. You could complete the game in VR.
That's pretty cool. That might give a reason for people to get the PSVR, which would be nice.
That's a reason for me to finally maybe I plan on getting an Oculus, but that's me going all right, second PC is needed sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I so want to start getting into VR things, but the last time I did something I think I did a Star Wars arcade cabinet game where the seat rotates as you're playing, and that made me so motion sick, and I was like, why is this making me sick? I'm having fun. Oh,
you gotta be honestly, you've got to be you've got to be in charge of the motion, in my opinion, for VR.
You control, you could pull the joystick, and then the chair would lift up a bit, and it's but something about that still felt off to me.
So I think a lot of it is your brain looks at stuff and goes, okay, this is how my body should feel while doing this action. And then it doesn't feel like that because you don't have the G-force essentially on your body of what that maneuver would feel like. And so your brain's I don't feel. It's when you do VR stuff, and it's okay, now walk over here, and it's your legs and shit aren't moving, but your fucking face is, and your brain's I don't like it. I don't know. Oh no.
The one time I've actually done VR was at the TwitchCon in 20 whatever it was, where it was like an in-game thing where you go exploring this little like hangout area, and in the hangout area they had this puzzle, or if you won the puzzle you get your free Oculus Rift or whatever. But I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, like I put the headset over my head, my face, and my glasses didn't fit, so then I took the glasses off, and I thought it would work out fine for me because, you know, the screen's right here and I'm nearsighted, so I was like, I should be able to see everything. But because the Oculus programs distance and like blurs out the distance, my eyes couldn't comprehend what was happening. It was like it's right in front of my face, but it looks like there's a distance and everything's blurry, but it's focused, and what's going on here?
Well, it's like me and Blue did a VR thing together where when he visited me in Vegas when I was still there, we went to one of the casinos that had a cool VR thing. I actually just found the little brochure that they had there for it, going through a box of memories, and I'm like, wow, this is fucking cool, because we did a zombie thing where we moved around the whole thing. Like, you actually walked around. They gave you like, they had PlayStation VR kind of like gun setups and stuff like that.
Guns, yeah.
And they gave you like VR backpacks and stuff like that.
This is the warehouse thing, yeah?
It wasn't even kind of, yeah, it'd be like what you would do in a warehouse, but like it's a little bit smaller, because it's in a casino place.
Gotcha. Sorry, I missed the first part.
But it's a big casino room that they used for it, but they box you into the parameters of the game.
Real space.
Yes.
Stuff. Yeah, it's fine.
So you don't break the game. Which
there's a couple of places in Australia that open up that are doing that, where it's like a little warehouse, and like part of the game you actually go into an elevator, and there's a real elevator in real life, and you go up in that, and then when you get out, it's on.
We didn't have that. There was an elevator in the game, but like
so cool.
It's just like, dude, I've been getting ads for this like weird kind of like harness thing that like puts like when you're listening to music.
What the fuck? Why would anyone buy that?
I mean, for VR, maybe. Because, like...
Sure. But they're just like, get into your game. You playing the new Call of Duty? Put this shit on your chest,
it's a haptic feedback.
Fucking wear it.
And it's supposed to be, like... It's supposed to, like... When it gets sound, it creates the sound here, too. So it reacts to it. I can see that working for VR, though. Because if you get hit and you feel it, you know, something like that...
Like, this was actually a conversation I had with my dad when it came to Ready Player One, the movie. Because in Ready Player One, they can get a haptic feedback suit where they can feel everything that happens.
He makes a joke about his genitals in it, too.
Yes, he does. He does.
Every man would.
And my dad was like, how is it better to wear the suit? Because you're actually feeling the pain of getting shot.
Well,
I feel like that's a handicap. I mean, like, I know it's supposed to be your movement actually controls it, which makes you better at moving your character. But at the same fucking time, you're actually getting shot now, and that fucking hurts.
Well, like, it wouldn't hurt. It's not gonna hurt like that. It's gonna hurt like a video game hurt. You know what I mean?
I still get that. I get that, but you still have to understand that this thing is quote unquote shocking you, and it's like, I feel like I would do better if I wasn't getting shocked.
It's not going to be a shock. It's going to be more of a, like, it's more for vibration is what it uses.
Remember when I said that one time, how it's always about counterpointing each other?
Fair point. I'm not trying to do it. I'm just pointing out what it is scientifically.
It would be really interesting to have that type of suit. And, like, say, for example, you got shot in the shoulder, and then, like, your right shoulder, and then the feedback made your entire right arm kind of like just vibrate a little bit, so it felt like almost numb. So it's like, oh, you can't feel that arm.
Oh, that'd be neat.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, you could use it, but because it was like shaking just that little bit, your accuracy might be off or something along those lines.
Well, like in Escape of Tarkov, like where like damage actually matters where you hit and stuff like that. That'd be interesting, actually.
So there was a good James Bond movie a long time ago where he got into this fucking simulation thing, but he wasn't like wearing anything.
Oh, well, it wasn't a good James Bond. That was
whatever.
That's To Die Another Day.
It was sure whatever.
The one where he surfs with the fucking like.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Apologies. Not that bit.
Like,
Fuck me, that part's bad. But no, that first scene, I think it's the first scene in the movie. He goes in and he shoots and like, you shot me. Like, yeah, I shot through you and I killed that person. That I was like, I don't know how old I was when I saw that, but I was like, I want something close enough to that to happen before I die. I don't care how old I am. I want to get into a suit or whatever and be able to feel things in the surroundings and do shit. Oh my god, it'd be cool.
I'd be happy with just like Sword Art Online, where you fall asleep and then you play a video game.
That would be very cool. Yeah. Or it patches into your brain and shit.
Exactly. I'd be happy with that stuff. Don't get me wrong. The coma induced by Sword Art Online would be a little disappointing.
and then the
not
death,
super
if you actually die, you die in real life.
Just get
Yeah.
good, scrub.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's when you see my ass being like, I'm gonna fucking just grind the low level. You're just like, Dev, you're level 80. Why are you beating up this level 1 rabbit? You'll see! You'll see when I get there!
Die? You goddamn idiot! What, you want to die?
Look away for the second. Rabbit levels up to level 80. See, this is why!
I was stopping a rabbit menace, you asshole! Ah!
I know what to do.
I'm a solo player.
It's like South Park.
I fucking love that line, by the way, because like me and my friends,
defeat him.
my friends and I, whenever we would do anything, and like one, like we'd say we want to do something, and one of us would more likely go, "I can't join you." Why? Because I'm a solo player. It's so
Fucking
so
douchebag.
edgy. It's such an edgy line. I'm Kirito. I'm the solo player.
Out of curiosity, why the fuck do you have your webcam mirrored on the stream so that you're not looking into the center? It's killing me.
Because I had it mirrored on the other one, and I forgot to mirror it here, actually. Thank you for...
It changes every other day.
Thank you, you fixed it for me, thank you.
No worries, because I'm like, we look in, you're looking out. It's like you're ignoring us, and I feel very upset.
Sorry. I try to, like, it bothers me, too, if as long as I notice it, because, like, the wording's not right, either. Because I like my shirts being able to be red. Because Discord flips you, not...
Hey, it's not red. Wow.
Anyways, Discord flips your perspective for yourself, but no one else. So, like, if you're hosting the call and showing it, you do have to flip your screen, no one else's. Which,
The more you know.
it's really annoying, but, you know, I also just recently...
Knowledge is power.
I just recently also learned that Jim taught me the ability to alt boxes and make them smaller on OBS. I felt like a real dumbass that I didn't know about that until for like the last 3-4 years.
I mean,
no
you've
one
been
told
doing
me.
this for a while, so get your shit together.
No one told me about this.
It's like I actually recently I started watching a Premiere Pro like guideline, essentially, like learn how to do this better by watching this community class, essentially. And I actually have a list of like things from very basic setups. It's like press this button to fast forward, and it's like it's a hotkey command. But it's like, why did no one ever teach me these fucking hotkey commands? Because this would be so much easier to edit. And it's the same thing with OBS. It's like, why didn't anybody teach me that this alt hotkey crops, and I don't have to sit there right-clicking, going to transform, altering it in this little menu, and then hoping it works? And then like, no.
Yeah, no, Jim told me that. I'm like, wow, I have been fucked for so long by this system. I finally understand it.
So I think Shift also like does a weird stretch thing on it. So if you ever wanted to like stretch or
I thought
switch an
Shift did, like, it kept
Or
its...
control. Nope, there you go. Not that you'd ever need that function, but it is a function.
I use it in YouTube videos, but
Yeah, I don't think you need to do it live.
no.
Not
The-
usually.
See, what you do is for intense moments, you change it so where there's a little black bar on the top and the bottom, and you stretch it a little bit, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's cinematic."
He's talking about his testicles, but it's so cinematic because he put the fucking bars there.
My balls.
You're not wrong.
Krogans have 3 balls. So cinematic.
Echidnas have 3 penis tips. That's fucking crazy.
God, fucking echidnas, dude. What the fuck?
Oh, 4, sorry. No, I was just corrected by somebody. I just got fact-checked in real life. 4.
4 penises. That's
Oh,
important.
Yeah.
are you... I'm not gonna say are you surprised. Did you hear about the TwitchCon news?
Same thing as PAX Oz. It'll get cancelled.
Oh, yeah, has it?
Yeah.
PAX, I don't know. Did PAX say PAX West was canceled yet?
Nah, I have no fucking idea. But yeah, PAX Australia is being cancelled. Okay, so this is being recorded, so I am not allowed to give my full opinion because I am partially involved. So I will give my very roundabout opinion of this.
Okay.
Understood.
PAX Oz is going digital, and you can purchase a digital ticket to view the event. It will be a 24/8 event because it goes for 8 days, 24 hours a day for those 8 days. That is an interesting choice, and I will be very interested to see how many sales they get on that. If it is more than 2, I'll be pretty surprised. Because why would anyone do that? Who cares?
Lifestyle people are gonna do it.
It's just... all they're doing is showing off a bunch of information we probably already know.
Yeah, like, I've been to PAX South. PAX is not what it used to be. I don't know about PAX Australia because it's like... I don't know if you guys have other major events, like, to that scale.
Not really. That's pretty much the biggest one. We have a couple of other ones that are similar, but they're for different things.
Yeah, like,
But our entire event is around the idea of go check out some games that aren't out yet. You might even be able to play a demo, which is cool. You can go to the booths for a lot of different companies like, Razer and Logitech and all that type of stuff. And sometimes they do giveaways. You can win some things there. Go hang out with friends. We've got, panels that are on, so you can go check that out if you want, where people talk about some bullshit that you probably don't care about. Yeah, it's for me, like, it is an opportunity to go and try and get, when I was a streamer at least, get myself out there as like a brand and be like, hello, it is me. Look at my face. Give me the shit. Thank you very much. But, as that whole concept of the reason I went is entirely demolished by the fact that it's online and you won't be able to like see anybody else.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
that's
you
like
watching some bullshit.
Well, that's like Twitch is trying to figure out what they might do, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know what you will do, Twitch, because I'm like, because like with PAX here at least, PAX is kind of weird because it pulls from so many different cons that I don't know if it really works anymore like it used to, because they because it's got video games, tabletop, so like D&D stuff, Twitch, and like some other stuff there, but like all of those things have conventions more centered around those things. Now, at least the PAX South that I went to, it was the first convention I went to, and I understand, like, I really enjoyed the convention, I had fun, but I could see that going away for being more streamlined, centered around the topic conventions with maybe some other stuff there. Like, TwitchCon is a Twitch-oriented convention that has stuff around it.
Thing. The whole idea to me was, you go there, you might get to meet your favorite streamer. You can be a simp as much as you like around them, good times.
We'll talk about me and I'm coming up with a name. I mean,
Alinity.
I know. At least hold me to a higher bar than that, sir.
I'm so very sorry. I apologize.
Bare minimum, Pokemon.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Still a few nip slips, but that's fine. All right. So
Wasn't hers though. It was
No.
Pornhub's.
You're right. What? I mean, I think she had one as well, but that's.
Did she? I don't follow enough of that news.
No, I'm not 100% up to date with the nudity of our Twitch streamers, but I hear things. So I think as long as I guess the way to do it is they do usually have the Twitch streamer events where it's like all of these FPS shooters are gonna verse each other in Fortnite. So they could do the same thing where they have the tournament. It's just not LAN; it's digital. And I'm sure Twitch has got enough shit in the back end that they could get all the streamers to stream to like a private server type of thing, their webcam and whatnot, and they can match that up, and they could essentially make it almost look like a LAN event based on using all of that stuff. And that would be really cool. Maybe they can do a dual stream, one that runs to their normal Twitch, and then one that runs to the Twitch as a private server, and they patch that in and they put it all together. And that would be really cool. And I think without too much difficulty, they could do that. So that side of things covered. The streamer meet and greet type of stuff, you can't really do that unless you've got them, on a rotation. It's like, oh, this person's going to be on stream for an hour. Jump on over and ask them questions. It's like, well, you could just do that on their normal fucking stream,
Yeah, there's not really a supplement for that.
Point.
And the other
Virtual
thing,
meet and greets
the
don't work,
thing
I don't
is
think.
also that that will be missing is the fact that you meet a lot of new people at TwitchCon. Some of the people that I think are really awesome that I've met through conventions that I'm still friends with, and like,
Hi, Frankie.
what up, Frankie? Yeah, no, mom and dad are in the same room. Mom finally showed up. She's here. I mean,
You're here most times. It's your show. Mum's always here.
I love our relationship, Scar, because there's some good banter between the two of us.
Okay, let's take a vote. Let's take a vote. Who is clearly the mum?
See, that's a tough debate for me because in my life, my mom was always present. So,
there
and
you
Deb's
go.
present for Frankie. So
My mom. Okay, that's not fair. He's got two
I'm the
dads.
dad
It's
that
fine.
went to the shops.
Yeah,
In
you're the dad.
Australia.
I'm the
You're the dad who
I'm the
wants to get a
stay-at-home,
cigarette.
or I'm not even the stay-at-home dad. I'm the dad that like stays in contact more.
Yeah, see, Frankie said that Deb's the mum. There we go. Excellent.
Oh, fuck
All
off.
right.
But like the thing that's gonna be would be missing no matter what is the fact that you meet new people. Like you can't replicate that. Like some of my favorite memories have been just like being able to go to a place, meet a group of people that like you knew one person who knew all of them, having rad conversations, ending up like hanging out at like one of the Airbnbs and drinking there and having conversations there. And then the next day you're like your convention group is like doubled. And you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, we are a fucking mob now. Fuck with us. Like, yes. And that's the big thing I'm gonna miss, because I love meeting new people. I think like that's one of my favorite things. It's just like having. I like getting new like perspectives on life, because everyone's perspective is a little different.
I think that's kind of funny because I remember when we went to TwitchCon, anytime it was a non-Twitch person, you're like, nope, I'm out of here. I'm not going to talk to you. You're making me feel awkward and anxious. And I had to be the one who's like, hi, person who we've never met and knows nothing about what we're talking about. How are you doing today?
Because I did that conversation at PAX, all right? Literally, I avoid those conversations because the term, oh, we got a group of PAXers over here, is coined in a small group of friends of mine. Dude, because we were walking around San Antonio and one of the tour guide people was like, oh, and we got a group of PAXers. And our group, that the rest of that convention was, oh, we're a bunch of PAXers. And I don't want to have to explain to people every fucking time what Twitch was. The people I want to know, more than likely, are within the bubble already.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I'm gonna put it. I'm not gonna talk to a random stranger on the street that has nothing to do with it, because they're just like, so what's going on? Why are you here?
What's this Shutter thing you're talking about? Twitch. Oh, that's what I said.
That's what I meant.
See, I'm a little bit the opposite of Frankie, I think, where I will talk to anyone. Like, you look at me for half a fucking second, I'm like, hey, what's going on? What are you... I've become American, apparently. Hey, what's...
That was pretty good.
I didn't mean to. It just kind of happened.
Your accidental American was, like, pretty spot on. I was actually kind of impressed.
Hey,
what's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
You got, like, a little tinge, like...
I was about to say, now he's gone southern a little.
He's got a little southern to it. He's a guy he's like Jay. Someone who's southern, where it comes out just a little bit.
I think I can do an American accent that isn't a bit southern. Like, that's it.
Well, it's because, again, I would say it's because you also do have, like, your accent, like, kind of would, like, has a bit of, like, an American Southern person has a twinge, I guess. I can't remember the term for it.
Twang?
Yeah, something like that, to how they say something.
A southern twang.
Yeah, southern twang. And, like, I guess how I would look at it is that, like, the Australian twang is a little bit, like, has a little bit of that in a way. Yeah. So it's natural to go there.
My actual, like, the voice that I use all the time, is quite proper in comparison to a lot of Australians. Because a lot of Australians, you know, they talk a little bit more like this, and, you know, you're just going to hang out and stuff, and, you know, go have a beer and have a barbie and whatnot. And I'm not quite like that. I'm a little bit more proper and talk a little bit more like an English person.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, that's how I would put it. You have like a little bit of like English.
Yeah, it's hard.
You're like if the Doctor was a little Australian.
Oi, crikey, get in me TARDIS! Oi, Sheila, do you want to be my companion? By crikey.
We got a croc in the pool of the TARDIS.
I got a croc in the TARDIS.
Oh, look at this statue. She's a beaut right there, but keep careful if you look away.
Don't be looking her. Make sure you look her in the eyes, otherwise she'll be after your taters.
Oh, see, this is a dilemma I kind of have because racism is a conversation we have a lot nowadays. So it's like, is it okay for us, me and Dev, to make Australian accents? Because I'm also thinking
it's not derogatory. And I think, as somebody who is very much about comedy, I think that you can make jokes about a lot of stuff. Even race can be made jokes of and all that type of stuff. But it's entirely on how you do it and, you know, what your actual message is that you're giving. You know, there's a lot of people like, oh, you can't make jokes about all of these things because somebody might get offended. It's like, who fucking cares? Like, if it's just something that's supposed to be something that we notice and it is something that can possibly bring up a further topic of conversation later on about it, and it's going to be a positive thing, as long as you're not like actually attacking a group of people and it's just something lighthearted, then I don't think it's a big issue. And especially anyone trying to do an Australian accent, by no means is that ever racist. You're all predominantly wrong, but that's fine.
Well, that's my same opinion about like anyone who isn't American doing an American accent, because they usually, let's be real, they always, even if I do an American accent that isn't my natural accent, it always goes a bit southern. That is the American accent. It's hello there. I'm from the South. It's like slightly cowboy. You got a kitty hitting the mic cable there.
Very cute.
But like, I know like one of the reasons why I do it still, like do other people, like other accents and stuff like that, is because I do like voice work and stuff like that. And like I've always been intrigued by that because I mean I do random voices all the time. So like when I was playing Pokemon Sword, because it's supposed to be like based off of Britain, I was doing a British accent. One time though, I royally fucked up, and I tried to make this one person's accent like sort of Welsh, but then it went Irish, then it went Scottish, and then somehow I landed at Australian.
Excellent.
And I really wish
The
you were there.
natural progression, I see. Yes.
And by the end of it, I'm like, man, I'm really glad Scar wasn't here because that went fucking awfully.
Listen to my Welsh accent, everyone. How going? Guys, I think he fucked up.
Well, see, the worst part was I could like the accent kept slipping to other accents.
Yeah.
Like it would be one for a moment, and then I'd read the next line and it would change. Read the next line and it would change. And I'm like, man, what the fuck, brain? You had them like for me practicing them, they weren't bad, except they changed every line.
So because obviously I own the roleplay server, most people know who I am, and when they hear my voice, they're like, "Oh, that's Scar, and he's the server owner. Better not do anything wrong." So I've had to employ voices to try and get around that. So I have one main one, which I'll go into in a bit. But the other one that I used the other day is I spent 3 hours being an Irish guy. And there are people that I have spoken to for over a year that at the end, when I started talking normally, they're like, "Holy shit, that's you!" It was so good. And like, yeah, I agree. I don't think there was anything racist about me doing the Irish accent. It was just I needed to mask my voice, and so I was doing that. And I kind of hammed up liking potatoes and whatnot. But other than that, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think voices are great regardless. I've got another character who I have never told anyone what nationality he is, and I never will because I don't know. Because I just started doing the voice and I have no idea where it came from. And so people are always guessing, and they're like, "Oh, is he French? Is he Iranian? Is he whatever?" And I will never tell anyone because even I don't know. But his name is Roomba. And he goes, "Hello, it is wonderful to meet you. It's Roomba. I go down to the shops, I do the things. It's very nice." And that's how he talks all of the time. And I don't know what
that breaks my
is.
brain because it's like 3 accents at once.
Yep,
like
it sure is.
I was about to say, at first I got like French Canadian, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, that's actually kind of impressive. It starts out French, I'll say that, but then other things happen that you're like, that's not French. What is that?
So anytime someone's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from around here. I come from other places."
Like, it's got like, it sounds like someone who was a foreigner to France when they moved there, and then learned English.
In France.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how I would put it.
Cool. No, and I mean, or yes.
You don't know. You don't know.
One knows.
Character's backstory hasn't been figured out yet.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm always telling people you need a backstory, but that is a plot hole that I will never fill on purpose. There will never be any. No one will ever know where Roomba, and might I say his last name is Ebola. Nobody knows where he comes from. It's hyphenated. It's EB-OLA, because his mother's last name was Eb, and his father was a Mexican. Hola! So, it's...
Again, as someone who at hearing it, it sounds like a little bit like what people would stereotype, a Hispanic accent a little bit, but
Maybe.
it's mixed with French, it's mixed with something else, and I don't it's not quite like any of those at the same time. It's cool. It's a unique accent. I'll say that.
Yeah, if I make it country, I'll just start talking like that.
Frankie says we suck.
I mean, we
Suck
whatever.
titties. I love titties. Thanks, Frankie.
I don't have my air horn on hand on this set, do I?
Fuck you.
No, I don't. That's the fuck you.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. Okay.
That is again one of the crispest fuck yous I've ever done. Like
That's pretty
it's fuck you. Like it's super crisp.
You've done well. I'm impressed.
But yeah, no, like, no, it's. I think like voice work, especially just like anything like that's really fascinating. Trying to figure out like what the character's like and stuff like that. Because I've been watching some videos of people like being given a drawing and being like, what's this character like? I'm like, oh man, that's cool. That's fun.
Are you watching that through Smosh at the moment? Or
a little bit, yeah, through Facebook on Smosh.
Yeah. I do like the new the Smosh cast, and I like their try not to laugh stuff. But I was watching that, here's a character and make a voice, and I was like, no, incorrect. you done fucked up. That is not the voice for that character. I don't know.
But that's their interpretation, which is really cool. Because like I see the image and I'm like, I would have done this. Like you think, well, like, oh, I do this, and then you hear them like, okay, I can see why you would do that. Like
sometimes I can't. I'm like, that's so wrong.
I kind of enjoy. There's a podcast. It's the official D&D podcast called Dragon Talk, and one of the segments that they have on that show is they have a randomly generated character, or they randomly generate the stats of the character, and it's like race, what specialty they are, what class they are. I mean, sorry, what their stats are. And then it's like, then they have to come up with the background and the lore and like the explanation of what this character is. And it's really entertaining, actually.
Random thought I had the other day, just because you said race then, and we've obviously been talking about all that stuff just before. Do you know, like, over the past however many years, if a white person is like, oh, this black person, if they say that that's been not okay, over the past like 2 months, it has become absolutely fine for someone to be like, these black people doing this. It seems like that's been a massive shift. Have you guys noticed that? Obviously, because of all the Black Lives Matter stuff, it just seems like that, because the focus is in a positive way, that people aren't assuming a negative connotation with saying black people.
Yeah, I've noticed it.
Yeah.
Like I still use POC as well, people of color. And so like if I'm doing like a tweet or something like that, I try to use that.
Yeah. It could be kind of like the LGBTQIA, because they added the QIA towards the end of their pretty recently, because they wanted to reclaim those words to be less offensive and more friendly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. I just noticed it. That's all.
No, I've noticed it too. I think it does come down to context. Like,
yeah.
Because also the thing is, it's not just African Americans. It's people of color, especially black people around the world, who have been repressed and attacked, and their rights have been taken from them in so many different ways throughout the centuries. That I think it's like, I guess, more all-encompassing in some ways, of like, all of us matter. Because, like, let's be real. It maybe part of my marketing brain in my head is doing it, but Black Lives Matter, sounds better than saying, like, because it can be universally used anywhere, than using African American Lives Matter, which is a true statement.
Yeah.
But from a sense of like all-encompassing, in a way, Black Lives Matter is the statement. So I think that's more, again, it just comes down to context and your meaning to it. Like, it's like if some Southern, like, I know I'm using Southern as the key for this, but it's just the easiest one to go to. But if some Southern asshole says the word boy, like, there is a connotation to that. Because like if I say, like, because I use boy in like a endearment, like Steven's my boy, Frankie's my boy, Blue's my boy, like they're my friends, they're my close network, they're people I trust. has a completely different connotation than if some asshole's like, come here, boy. Like that, that you know exactly what that person's trying to say with that.
Yep.
God damn it, Frankie, fuck off, you little shit. Because it's just, it just comes down to connotation and tone, like, and that person might go, no, I wasn't meaning like that. And part of it could just be my brain prejudice, because if I ever heard that saying from someone who is Southern, like my brain would immediately go, oh, that dude's fucking racist. And maybe that's some prejudices in my brain, because just that is a term that was used there frequently. Especially during like segregation and stuff like that. Like, that's just a term they used. Because like they didn't always want to use the N-word. Which, like, that whole conversation, I really just. It's connotation. That's what it comes down to. It's like there was this group of Chinese artists who took back a word that was used against Chinese. I can't remember which one it was, but they used one of them, and like they used it with the word and soup. I can't remember which one it was, because there's a few. But they called themselves that, and they're like, I mean, yeah, some people might think that, but we're all people who have Chinese family members, and B, all like it's us trying to reclaim it. It's us trying to take that back and not use it in a negative light. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Context matters.
It's all very interesting.
I feel like I talked a lot there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you had some points. You were doing the thing. That's cool.
Doing the thing and talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the show.
Where'd you go? Yeah. Welcome to the show, everyone. All right, now to get started. The intro's done.
An hour and 55 minutes later.
That's right.
Yeah. No. Back to a lighter topic. I can't wait for Skate. Like, to end on a light note. Man.
Well, Skate's not coming until the new consoles, so we got to talk about the new consoles, right?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about last week.
Yeah,
I'm going PS5 easy out of the two.
I am getting both.
I mean, if I can get both,
can't afford either.
if I can get both, I'll get both. But my problem with the Xbox is that most of the stuff will be on PC as well.
Okay. Yes. But there's a rumor. Now, I don't know if it's true.
Rumors.
There's a rumor. It might play Steam games.
Xbox might play Steam games.
That's pretty fucking cool.
I would get it for my living room then.
Exactly.
I was about to say, the only thing is you'd have to be a controller player, and I'm trying really hard to go mouse and keyboard here.
Not necessarily. You could get your keyboard and mouse and just plug it into the Xbox.
Yeah. Get a wireless
setup.
Now
I'm doing that in the landing room.
I was about to say, now I'm picturing left-hand controller with the trigger and right-hand the mouse, where it's just like,
Potato potatoes. Why did it go Irish? I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
Don't you know? Laddie!
Your Irish is very different to mine. Holy shit.
God.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna get... I'm definitely gonna get both, but that's just because I work for a game store, so I'm kind of need to know a lot about both anyway.
No, that makes sense. I'm definitely gonna go more, I'm definitely leaned more towards the PS5 after everything, because man, that can I say it may be the console that pushes me to go digital, because the sleekness of that digital.
Don't do it.
I don't want to either, because I love having a game collection.
Okay, so
I will buy the disc version, but
here are the reasons why you're wrong.
Okay, hit me.
The fucking console only has an 800 gig hard drive in it, some of which will be taken up by operating systems.
I know.
The new Call of Duty is 200 gig by itself.
I know.
200.
There is literally people with consoles just for Call of Duty.
Yes. So this new console with these new games, which will be bigger because they'll all be fucking 4K, is gonna fill up your console real quick.
I will be doing disc.
I am not fucking finished. There are so many more. Here's the next thing. You will need to buy either an external or an internal additional drive, because I believe that they're allowing for a slot for internal drive or something like this. Anyway, you'll need to buy that. So that's extra money. Digital copies always either cost the same or more because the physical copies are sometimes on sale at your GameStops and stuff like that. So that is costing you more money. When you're finished playing the game, because you're like, nah, I don't think I'll ever play this one again. You know what you can't do? You can't trade your fucking game. So you're not getting your money back for it at all. I hate it. I hate everything about it. We got the digital one in Australia for the Xbox One. We sold like 5 and refused to sell anymore. And we're like, fuck this up out of here. It's bullshit. I hate it. Don't get digital consoles. They're dumb.
I see the only thing on that list that doesn't really matter to me is trade-in, because I like collecting my games.
Yes, yes, I get that. And most people do. But it is still something to keep in mind, because once it's a digital copy, if you don't like the game, for the most part...
you can't turn it back.
Yeah, you can't really be like, no, I'll have my money back, please. I mean, sometimes you can. I don't know if like the consoles do that. Like Steam kind of started to do that.
Steam is way better. Which, funny enough, Steam is way better than other games about it, or other companies about it. PlayStation's not great about that. Nintendo is super stingy.
But if you head on down to your GameStop, providing they have similar stuff to the Australian one, EB Games, if you don't like a game, you can just take it back within a week. And go, this was garbage. Give me my money back, please.
Yeah, they do that.
Cool.
Well, that's like, I buy mine at work since we have a game section, which is super convenient.
Yes.
So, like, I'll buy them there. And if the game's trash, I can bring it back within, like, 14 days and be like, hey, I don't really want it.
This was kind of ass. We are doing returns, full money back returns for Fallout 76 from 2 years ago because of how fucking rubbish it was.
I'm not surprised. I wish I would have bought that on a console. In hindsight,
I still remember the one fucking time we accidentally went to Australian servers to play.
That was so awesome.
That was really funny.
And then they broke it where we couldn't put our 2 buildings near each other.
Yeah.
I spent all of my money trying to relocate my building, and it never worked.
Like, we had it set up where all 3 of our buildings were near each other, and it worked when the game launched. And they got rid of something that worked in the game. Why?
Fuck you, that's why.
we were gonna have the police station and everything. It was gonna be great, and then they broke it, and it was like, why would we come back? Like after they broke that for us, that was the moment that
it was all we had.
That's all we had. We couldn't have our police station with our jail and our freaking farm all near each other.
That story is how I used to sell copies of Fallout 76 to people at work. I was like, hey, look, this game's not great, but let me tell you some dumb shit you can do. People would buy it. It was so good.
Our dumbass police station. God, that was great. I spent so long on that, and you guys brought me back so many resources for it. Yeah. That was so fucking good. And then it's like 3 freaking stories, you guys. I'm genuinely impressed with the layout of that thing. Because it had like the office section on the bottom, the like armory, and the barracks where we all slept, and then the roof. It was all set up. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Can't wait to play this in 4 months.
Yeah. No.
Good luck finding a place flat enough to place it where you could place more than one building within a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, Frankie, me too, but that's fine. Whatever.
I'm sorry too. I'm sorry I bought the $80 version of it. Like an idiot. Then it went on sale literally the next week. Oh, what a fucking slap in the face that was. That $80 game you bought, it's now $40. Oh, thanks, Bethesda. Real thwell.
Heck. What a time.
What a time.
All right, I have a lot of contracts to write up. So
we're gonna wrap up here as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out, like, on the fly with us.
Awesome.
No worries.
It's been good.
It was lucky it's my day off.
Yeah.
I'm still supposed to be working, but whatever. I'm working for myself, so I can do whatever the fuck I want.
And I can't. A break is always good, even if it's just hanging out on a internet broadcasted series.
I get to write that I'm a CEO on stuff now.
That's pretty handy.
That's
It's
awesome.
so cool. Yeah. I sign everything off as Blueburn RP CEO Scar. Good
that's
time.
pretty rad.
I'm very happy with it. I got business cards and everything.
Anyways, we'll wrap up the podcast. Thank you all for hanging out. Be good to each other. And just try to make the world a better place. That's my message.
Everybody love each other.
Yeah. Unless you're an asshole, racist piece of shit, in which case, fuck you. Good night!
Night.
Bye.